It's been a long week, but it's great to come home and see Daisy right there. What's up, Daisy? You saw all your fans. Say hi to Mary and Esme and Jesse. Say hi to Lauren. And say hi to me. Hey everyone, it's Dominic, the Primetime Treasure Hunter. Welcome back to another video from inside Primetime Treasure Shed Quarters. A lot of you have asked me to do a video from in here, and so here we go. We're gonna give it a try. Let me know what you think. Right here, I've got 2 stacks of wrestling DVDs that I purchased a couple of weeks ago. Some of you may have seen me post about this on social media. If you're in my Facebook group or if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that when I posted it, I said that I don't normally skip sourcing over the weekend, but when I do, I go out and I pick up 65 wrestling DVDs for 50 bucks. So that's about 76, 77 cents per DVD, which is a great deal. And it's true, I really don't normally skip going out on the weekend and sourcing because I just love doing it. I just have a lot of fun with it. I love the thrill of the hunt and all that stuff, and finding great deals, and always worry I'm missing out on something if I don't go out. So that particular weekend, though, I didn't go because Mrs. Primetime was gone for the weekend with the kids. Went back to New Jersey for a little family trip, and basically I decided to make some use of the time to get some listings done. And because of that, I didn't go out and source, and so it was just kind of eating away at me a little bit to go out and see if there was anything out there that I could get. Now, I am regularly looking on the local marketplaces for things, and that's one of the things I want to talk about in this video, which is doing local marketplace sourcing. And don't limit yourself to just going out to garage sales and estate sales, and don't, as you'll see from this video, don't limit yourself to thinking that deals are only available on the weekends. They are available all the time throughout the week, but you have to check the main apps: Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Let Go, and OfferUp. Those would be the main ones. So also, it does help if you have a spouse or a girlfriend or one of your kids maybe, or even a sibling. If they happen to be on one of those apps and they're looking for stuff, if they see something that you may like, let them know to bring that to your attention. And that's exactly what happened here. Mrs. Primetime came up to me. It was kind of like later in the evening. It was like 7 o'clock ish, like past the time that you would traditionally go out and source, is my point. And she says to me, would this be something you're interested in? And she shows me this big bin, this big tote filled with these DVDs for 50 bucks. And I said, absolutely. So I contacted the guy. I asked him if they're still available. He said that they were, and I said, all right, I'll be right over there. Now, one of the things I'm thinking when I see wrestling DVDs is I'm thinking there's a possibility, especially if he's unloading that many, and I'll show you them in a second, that he may have a comic book collection. The reason for that is because people who grew up watching wrestling often, not always, but often also read comic books. And there are a lot of wrestling advertisements, for example, in comic books. Same thing for toys, same thing for video games. There's a strong association there. Also for Dungeons and Dragons. So I look for that when I see that, and I think of possible associations like that and see if I can maybe make a connection and go out there and investigate a little bit more. So go out, it's about 15 minutes away, and I'll show you. We'll slide over here and I'll show you some of the DVDs here that I wound up getting. So I'll just turn it this way. You can see some of the titles. Now, the thing about wrestling DVDs, unlike wrestling VHS tapes, like there's some wrestling VHS tapes that they're very obscure and they will go for a lot of money. Like some even go for over $100 for a sealed wrestling DVD that's obscure. These are really, really cool titles that are here. Like, for example, I love this. If you grew up when I did in the early 1980s, and you remember watching Madison Square Garden wrestling matches, that was like a big treat. It was when cable first came out. I loved watching this type of stuff. And so that particular DVD, though, it's not worth a lot of money. It's only worth like less than $10. Now, if I sold them individually, they would go out media mail. But and that would only cost like $275. But that's not what I'm thinking about how I'm going to sell these is individually. I'm going to do either one of two things. I'm going to strategically bundle certain things together according to theme. Like there's different WrestleMania DVDs in here, so I could like bundle them together that way. Or there's certain characters like, you know, like The Undertaker, or there's a bunch of Raw, which is one of their wrestling shows. There's a bunch of those DVDs, so I could put them together that way and sell them that way. Or what's more likely is I could just do a bulk flip. And a bulk flip for something like this, just to give you comparisons. It's very interesting with wrestling DVDs because individually, if someone's seeking a specific title, well, a lot of the titles are overproduced, so they're not worth a lot. But if you could get them in bulk like this for $50, so comps would be for about 80 of these. Now, I have 65, so you just have to kind of proportion it out. But for 80 of these DVDs, recently they sold for $300. So that's not a bad flip. If you're purchasing for 50, let's say you're selling it for maybe 250, you know, you got to subtract fees or whatever, but you know, it could be like a $150, $175 flip. So, you know, it just depends. Maybe it'd even go for a little higher than that. You don't know until you put it on the marketplace and see what your competition is. But I should wind up doing good with this overall. One of the other reasons that I bought it, honestly, I don't normally do this, but I want to watch some of these. Like I want to watch this one. So I may hold off a little bit before I put them up. But so I go out there and the guy's waiting for me outside his apartment complex. And I say to him, because I see him come out with a Batman shirt on, right? So I say, aha. So he does have some interesting comic books. So I said, hey, do you happen to have any comic books for sale? And he goes, well, I do, but I didn't list them yet. You know, they're part of my collection. I'm thinking of selling them. I'm going to post a couple of long boxes soon on Marketplace. And so, you know, when I do, you know, you can reach out to me and make a deal. Now, I recently gave you some information about how to put a business card together. So I gave him my business card and I said, listen, just call me next time. If you want to sell the comic books, let me know. I'll get back in touch with you and, you know, we can make a deal real fast. And part of the point of what I want to talk to you about this is that relationships like I have built up with this guy, they don't happen instantly overnight. Sometimes it takes a couple of deals to build that trust. So I'm about to leave work and I look at Facebook Marketplace and what do I see? 10 minutes earlier is posted a long box of comic books and the name of the person selling it is the same person who I bought this from. So did he reach out to me from the card? No. Now I paid him full price for this, and part of the reason I paid him full price and didn't haggle is because I want him to, you know, think, okay, this is a guy that, you know, I can make a good deal with. You know, he's not going to beat me down too much on the price. His price was fair, but still I didn't try to beat him down anymore in terms of the haggling. So I reach out to him instantly. He writes me back and says, I figured I would hear from you. And we just kind of LOL'd it. Now I went out there, and here's another point. I didn't confront him or anything like this and say, hey, what the heck? You know, I told you to contact me on my business card. I don't understand why you just put it up. I thought we had a deal. You can't do that type of stuff. It's not worth it. It's not going to get you anywhere. So we made the deal, and I'll show you. Let me kind of slide this over here without it collapsing back, and I'll show you the comic book collection, which is right over here in one of the long boxes here. So I'll bring you over here, and this is basically what I wound up getting here. And what you could see is there's a bunch of trade paperbacks like this G.I. Joe. Now, just to put in reference, Jeremy Hare, I don't know if he's watching this, but he bought one of these from me the other day for $12.99. So, you know, the trade paperbacks are pretty cool. You know, they're thicker than your average size comic book, and they collect a bunch of different comics together. And there's a bunch of those in here. There's like a cool Darth Vader, Vader Down variant edition, as you can see right there. There's some Vampirella books, which, you know, I like that kind of stuff. There's a whole bunch of other things. I mean, there's stuff in here that's not super great. This was like his initial box that he was putting out there. There's some vampire-related stuff here. But these are things that he was just kind of putting out as like an initial test run. I'll kind of just skim through this. The point of this isn't really to do necessarily a haul video, but just to kind of just give you a little glimpse of some of the things that's in here. A lot of rebirths, which are, you know, good titles to get. So got a bunch of that in there. There's some things that aren't worth that much, but again, this was just like an initial offering he was throwing out there for 40 bucks, and that's pretty much the maximum I would pay for a long box like this. There's some more Vampirellas there. There's some Robocops that aren't really worth much. He has some better stuff more towards the back. Let's see here. Some of this stuff is kind of junky, but he's got the Bane Conquest series, which is pretty good. That's all bagged and boarded. He's got a bunch of Spawns. He's got Spawn #1s. He's got a lot, actually a lot of Spawns here. That's another popular title. And then back here, let's see, he's got a bunch of more of these Rebirth titles. So, you know, pretty good stuff overall. We've got some Carnage stuff here, so that's a pretty cool cover. So, you know, there's some neat things there. So there were some good things in that comic box, but it wasn't like it was some kind of gold mine or treasure haul or anything like that. But it was a strategic pickup for me at $40, which is generally the maximum I would pay for a long box of that quality, which gets them for me at about 15 cents per book. Now, the reason why I did that, when I say it's strategic, is because he told me he has 2 other long boxes of comics. One is like a premium box that has really, really valuable issues in it. There's a second box that's kind of in between that box and the one that I just showed you. And so I said to him, you know, if you ever become interested in selling those as well, just give me a call. You know, I'm more than willing to make a deal with you. And, you know, I'd love to come back and, you know, pick them up at any time that's convenient for you. He said, great, no problem. Next thing I know, within 24 hours, he sends me a text message. Now, remember, what happened the first time? The first time he didn't send me a text message, even though he had the information to text me from the wrestling DVDs. He put the long box right online. But now that we've made 2 deals together, he's feeling more comfortable. So he reaches directly out to me and he says, if I were to put these 2 boxes up, how much would you offer me for them? What would you feel comfortable with? So we went back and forth for a while. He gave me some information, sent me some pictures, gave me some titles and stuff. And ultimately what we came to was I offered him $100 for the 2 long boxes, 40 for one, 60 for the other one. And ultimately what he wound up saying was he just wanted to sell that second tier one right now, not the first tier one, because he's too emotionally attached to it. And when someone tells me they're too emotionally attached to something, I back off. And the reason why I do that is because if someone's emotionally attached to something, you're not going to get a good deal. You don't want to pressure someone to sell something that they're emotionally attached to, because they're going to regret it and they're not going to walk away having a good experience. They're going to wind up having regret, and you don't want that. You want people to walk away from an interaction with you not feeling pressured, feeling like they made out and got a good deal and that they gave you a good deal. That's how you want it to go down, because remember, your reputation is everything. And so that guy has other friends who collect comic books, and I want him to tell them this guy is cool. He's cool to deal with. You know, he's not going to pressure you. You know, he'll back off. You know, he's not going to go like crazy, try to haggle you with like extreme lowball offers or anything like that. That's what you want. So you want, you know, kind of your name and your reputation to get out that way. So that's why I kind of back off a bit, but he was willing to do a deal on the second box. So let me bring you over to the second box and I'm going to show you what's in there. Okay, so this is the second box, and one of the highlights here is we've got the complete set of Secret Empire. This is a great title to look out for, and this little stack right here of 10 books is gonna go for around 50 bucks. So that right there, that little stack here, that's gonna get me right here, that's gonna get me all my money back for this box, which is 40 bucks. This will sell for 50. That includes shipping. So over here, we've got some DC Justice League mini-series. I love selling the mini-series like this because they're easy to get comps for. You can see there, it says 1 of 6. And so we've got number 1, we've got number 2, we've got number 3, we've got number 5. Uh-oh, where's number 4? We got number 6. I hate when that happens. Oh, there we go, number 4 right there. Okay, I haven't really gone through this box yet, so There's some Captain America. I mean, I know there's some of the stuff that's in there because we talked about it and I flipped through it. He's got a ton of Civil War stuff in here, which is good. He's actually got a complete set of Civil War 2 over here. Let me actually take this out so I could flip through it a little bit better. There we go. That's much easier. So let's see here. We've got some, where's the Civil War stuff? I know there's Civil War here stuff. Avengers, anything with Avengers is good because of the Avengers movie. But there we go. We've got a lot of Civil War 2 stuff right here. Like I said, there's a complete set of it in here. It's all bagged and boarded. These books are in near mint condition. We've got some great, first issue like Wonder Woman, DC Universe, Justice League stuff. I mean, there's a lot of this stuff in here. Really, really good titles. This is all Justice League of America. So let's see, what else do we have in here? We've got some Venom books, which are always good to see. Anytime you see anything Venom, that definitely should pique your interest. I did see, I don't know if it's, I think it might be in this box. I noticed, oh, there it is. I was going to say there's some Deadpool. So we've got some Deadpool stuff in here as well. There's some more Venom right there. So you could lot those Venom books together and sell them really well. Here's a bunch of them here too. And in fact, we've got Carnage Unleashed. Anything with Carnage, which is, I haven't talked about him too much, but he's this red character here. Anytime you see anything with Carnage, it's really, really big and really popular in the comic book industry. Here we go again, Carnage, and we've got Venom right there. There's the mask being ripped off. So there's a lot of good stuff in here. And this is what I mean, that this is a step up compared to this box. But I probably wouldn't have been able to get this box if I didn't pay up a little bit for this box. And it's not even a bad price. I mean, 40 bucks is not that bad for, for a long box, considering I like to get them for lower than that. When I buy them in bigger amounts, I can do that. I had this when I was a kid. I loved reading these. But, we got some Superman, so we've got some stuff in here that's not worth a ton, but I actually just sold a big lot of Adventures of Superman, and I actually got a pretty good deal for it. It was like I think it was like a $35 sale or something like that for some of them. Let's see what else we have back here. I'm trying to kind of balance between people who aren't really interested in comic books and some of you who are. We've got a complete set of Bane of the Demon, which is like a $15 series. There's 4 of them in there. Let's see, and there's a bunch more Batman stuff, and so a lot of this stuff you have to remember, even though some of this stuff might just seem like it's kind of loose stuff, like there's some kind of like random books in here, like some random Captain Americas, or random, I don't know, Gen 13s or X-Files. You have to remember, I have tens of thousands of comic books, and so I could just integrate these with other series. By the way, Wildcats, that's a series I would tell you to generally stay away from. They're really not worth much, but sometimes you're going to see them bundled up in some of these comic boxes like that. So that's what happens sometimes when you buy lots. You're going to get some stuff that's of lower value mixed in with some stuff that's higher value. All right, so a couple of tips to wrap up this video. Number 1, again, the importance of building relationships with people. It doesn't happen overnight. Like I said before, sometimes you just have to keep working at it, and over time, you could get that relationship built up so you can make really, really good deals with people. And I would bet that if that guy decides to sell that first box of comics that we're talking about, that he's just going to directly get in touch with me. I would hope, I can't guarantee it, but based on how everything ended off, that last deal went really well, and I have no reason to think that he wouldn't reach out. Number 2, source local marketplaces and source during weekdays. I picked that up yesterday after working full time, so that was on a Thursday evening while I dropped my son off at a basketball practice. I just had enough time to get over there, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back, a tiny little bit to schmooze, got back just in time to pick up my son. So for those of you who are working full time and doing reselling, you've got to kind of find ways like that to kind of strategically plan out how you could source during weekdays like that, because it is possible, even weeknights. So if you can't get out during the weekend, you've got an event going on, look for sourcing opportunities during the daytime. Now, the last point that I want to mention is the importance of being able to adapt to change. That's a crucially important characteristic that you need to have to be successful, not only in your reselling business, but in other walks of life. That ability to be flexible, to adjust, to navigate around obstacles so they don't keep you down long. You've got to find a way to work around them. And in the instance that I'm talking about here, which relates to those 2 comic book boxes that we just went through, a few videos back, you may remember me talking about somebody who I had sourced comic books from over the last few years. I used to refer to it as my comic book honey hole. And I was getting books at incredible prices for less than wholesale value, if you could believe that. And it basically started to slowly become a situation over the last few months in which the same types of books were being offered to me at more than retail value, which I'm obviously not going to do. And so that necessitated me to start thinking of other ways that I could start to get these same types of boxes of comic books. And so as a result, I'm looking at Facebook Marketplace even more than I used to. I always looked at it, but now I'm looking at it even more, and I'm looking to build up relationships with people in the community like this guy, and I'm making sure he knows, hey, I say this every time, let any of your friends know if they ever need anything, contact me. That's part of hustling. That's part of just wheeling and dealing. That's what you've got to do. You've got to create those opportunities. It's almost like what I tell you about when you go out and you source, and I tell you to dig to the bottom of the box to find something that's really valuable. It's the same thing. Like, you've got to work at it. It's not all, it's like I say, there's not going to all be surface finds for you to pick up at garage sales that are all laying out on the table. Same things with these kind of deals. You've got to sometimes go and create them for yourself, just like you did here. So that's why I'm bringing this up. I want you to just try to think about that. Remember that, especially if you're new. It will help you out a ton with your reselling business. So that's it for today. Let me know what you thought of a full episode in Primetime Treasure Shed Quarters. Do you want to see more of them or not? Just let me know. So we're just going to wrap it up as usual. Make sure if you like the video, you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you come to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. We have got tons of stuff going on over the next few days. It's going to be amazing. We've got a cancer fundraiser going on Sunday for Support That Seller Sunday. We've got Prime Time Day coming up on the 15th and the 16th of July. It's going to be incredible deals only available within the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. Everyone who's a member could take part in it, and it is free to join. So the link is down below in the description section where it says see more. So definitely come on by and join the group. Just for that, it's worth it. Also, we're going to have our 8th Sellers Supporting Sellerthon on the 18th. So that's going to be really cool. A lot of people in that group make a lot of money during that event. So come on by for that as well. Also subscribe to me on Instagram, or follow me on Instagram. That's at Prime_time_treasure. I'll see you back at the next video, everyone. Take care. Hey Daisy, did you get those packages done yet?